Introduce us.
I almost said hi, Cassie. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, Cassie.
Hi, creepy people.
Yes, hello.
This is P&W Haunts and Homicides, as always.
Yes, correct.
And today, we're doing a spooky case.
A spooky case?
A spooky case. Have I already had too much wine?
I don't think so.
It's a spooky case.
Spooky how this rosé goes to your head.
Ooh.
Just kidding.
So we're shuffling the tarot cards. I've put my spooky case vibes into the cards.
All right. Shuffling is hard.
She's not dropping them.
Podcasting is a really great medium for people who struggle at life, like me.
It's true.
Oh,
Okay, I'm cut. Wow, that was weird.
yeah.
I feel like I'm just going to draw this card because
Okay.
it just kind of like it popped off the top into my hands and here we
It
go.
likes you.
Is that cups? Or
Yeah,
wait,
this is
10
cups.
of cups? Is an X a 10?
Yes. I had to think about that for longer than I'm proud of. But yes. Okay, so 10 of Cups, we'll read the description of kind of what the card looks like. Appearance of cups in a rainbow. It is contemplated in wonder and ecstasy by a man and woman below, evidently husband and wife. His right arm is about her, his left raised upward as she raises her right arm. Okay, so they're basically just standing with like his arm around her. They both have opposite arms up.
They're like
That felt like
praising
a
the
weird way to
rainbow.
describe
Yeah,
that.
it was very lengthy.
Oh my goodness. Oh, and all right. The two children dancing near them have not observed the prodigy, but are happy after their own manner. There is a home seen beyond.
There is a home in the distance. Yeah,
I mean,
there's a stream.
it's kind of difficult to see it, but okay. So divinatory meanings, and then we'll see if we have any other insight from our other books. This says contentment, repose of the entire heart, the perfection of that state. If with several picture cards, a person who is taking charge of the querent's interests. Also the town, village, or country inhabited by the querent. Okay, so I don't know if that's going to really answer anything yet. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm confused a little bit.
Some of the definitions of the cards, I just read it and go, well, that's a little arcane. Like, what is that? Okay, so 10 of Cups. In the upright position, love, joy, happiness, contentment, family, security, harmony. The feeling of living a purposeful life. Self-esteem and a sense of connectedness. Healthy and fulfilling...
Healthy
and fulfilling relationships in romance, friendship, and or the family. Emotional support and well-being. Stability, especially within the home. Enjoyment, satisfaction, and a feeling of wholeness. I thought that said wholesomeness for a second.
So wholesome.
I mean, kind of this, it's in that vein, but... Relationships and group activities are peaceful and harmonious. Occasions for reunion, a possible marriage, or a child on the way. Well, this just sounds like hashtag goals.
Right? Like this story is going to be so beautiful and...
Why do I feel like it's not? Cassie's a big fat liar.
So it does relate, and I do know where already. So it's pretty cool. It doesn't relate to the entire story, but a little piece of it. So I think we got somewhere with that at least.
We shall see.
So today we are going to be talking about Raven's Manor, which is a haunted themed bar in downtown Portland. It's very new. I think, do you know when it opened? I can't remember. Sometime this year.
I'm not sure either. Yeah, but it is a new establishment. It has been wildly popular.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like.
Obviously, like a haunted themed bar in Portland. Like you can't get much better than that. So we're going to start off a little bit with the history of the actual building that it's in. Because that's always like interesting. I think it definitely adds to the mystery of the place for sure.
So we're not talking about like brand new ghosts today.
We'll get there.
Oh,
we will get there in the end at some point. But we're going to go through some of the history first.
Okay.
Yeah. Ravens Manor resides in the Henry Failing building at the corner of Southwest 1st Avenue and Oak Street. It's like right next to the water. You can see the water from the building.
Yeah.
It was built in 1886 and it is named after Henry Failing, who was one of, I wrote the sentence backwards. He was one of the first Portland residents and he actually eventually became mayor.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
He liked that Southwest waterfront area.
He did.
I mean, don't blame the guy.
So the building is located in what is now known as Old Town Chinatown, but it wasn't always known that way.
Sure wasn't.
It was not. So from the late 1800s to the early 1900s, it was known by multiple different names, and we will go over those. So the first one was the North End, which isn't too bad. It sounds like it could be pretty classy, right? The North End.
North End.
But it gets worse.
Oh, so the names don't continue on that charming trend?
No, they don't.
Okay.
So the next is Whitechapel, which it might ring a bell for some of you. It is actually a district in
district.
Goddamn. It is a district in East London, and it was a pretty dangerous and shady area where 11 gruesome murders took place.
No.
By none other than Jack the freaking Ripper.
Shut up.
Yes.
Why are we naming places in Portland after that?
Exactly. I was like
Stop
completely shocked that Old Town was once named after the place where Jack the Ripper did his dirty, dirty deeds.
They're like, hey, you know what might inspire some really cool stuff to happen in this neighborhood?
Yeah.
Let's name it after the place where some of the most famous murders in history happened.
So I'm pretty sure like it got its name because it wasn't like such a great place.
Yeah.
I think
felt like that was intentional.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Crap.
It was also known as like Skid Row or the Badlands or the Disreputable District or the Tenderloin, which we've heard before.
Oh my gosh.
Which I thought was something like really yummy, which no, it's not.
Yeah, Tenderloin is delicious. Don't name districts after it.
No, it's not a good thing. And I'm going to quote this from an article that I found on streetroots.org. The article is called When Portland's Old Town Was the North End by Doug Kank Crispin. It was a suppressed underworld where congregated the flotsam and jetsam of the undercrust. Portland's elected officials and power elite, often one and the same, allowed the vice district to thrive within these confines, as all immoral activity was good for business.
Yikes!
That is a freaking quote about Old Town. Like, come on.
Yowzers.
Kind of
Okay,
shit
when
was
is that
happening.
quote from? Any idea?
So this was from his article, and it was written about like that time frame, which was the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Okay.
The article I think was like 2019.
Okay. Well, I was worried that somebody like actually described it that way in 2019.
No,
and I'm like, that's a little rough, guys.
That was the description back in the day.
Okay. Right.
Which is when the building was being built, 1886.
Okay. So still not great, but
yeah, it wasn't a great place back then. It's much better now. It's nowhere like it was back then.
Not flotsam and jetsam.
No.
Oh my
The
gosh.
undercrust of
Oh my god.
Portland.
Oh, wow.
Right? I thought it was so beautiful. I had to read it.
I am so glad I'm not eating pizza tonight.
Yeah.
I can't.
So it basically sounds like the police in this area probably looked the other way on most things, I'm sure, in exchange for money or like anything else they wanted.
Yeah.
It was a place full of brothels and saloons and places to gamble. And I wrote brothels twice.
Really wanted to drive that point home.
Yeah. Nail it in there. All kinds of like illegal shenanigans going on in this area.
Oh, shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
I love that word.
It's my favorite word.
Yeah.
Like I say it all the time. So there was also rumored to have been tunnels underground in this area during this time, used to capture men and force them to work on ships. These are called the Shanghai tunnels. I don't want to get too deep into this topic because I'm going to cover it on another episode. It's a very in-depth.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler. It's a very in-depth topic, but I'm sure most people here have heard of the Shanghai tunnels.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention it because it might come up again later.
Yeah. I mean, if I hadn't heard of the Shanghai tunnels, like if I was just sitting here with a vacant look on my face, like, what's that? You'd be like, podcast over.
We're done here. Yeah. So there's not a ton of info on the past businesses that were in this building and any dates of when these businesses were running.
Okay.
I flipping scoured the interwebs, y'all. Like I dug way too deep into this building, like way deeper than I ever thought I needed to go for like building history, just trying to find something about what this building was.
Oh, geez.
And all I could pretty much find was that it was a cigar store at one point. There's kind of like a drawing picture of it as a cigar store. There's not like an actual picture. It was a rubber stamp company at some point. And it was also an Oregon marine supply company, at least during the 50s. I know that because I did find a photo that was dated. So during the 50s, we kind of have a time frame of what the place was. It was a marine supply company. There were a couple other businesses listed, and one, I couldn't find anything that said like where this business was located. It said in the information, this building was like these businesses at one point. It didn't say when. It didn't say. Yeah.
They're
so
like, we don't know when. We don't really have any information. Right? Please stop asking.
Which is interesting. So I Googled like the different businesses and like the other ones popped up like, hey, this was in this building. This one didn't say like a location or a time frame. And then the other one that was listed, it said it was in this building, but I Googled it and it was in a different building in Portland. It wasn't in this building.
Portland.
So I'm like, how?
In all of her mystery.
It's very weird. So like the fact that this is like a historical record site that I'm looking on and it has like missing or like misinformation, I find it very strange. So now the reason I think that this is so odd is because this building was rumored to have been a brothel at some point during this era where like all of this shady shit was going down. And it kind of sort of makes sense that there's not record of it being like an illegal business.
I think even back then, a lot of those businesses didn't have the same level of record keeping.
Yeah. Well, apparently, because I can't even find out when the marine store, like the stamp store was in business.
That's wild.
Yeah. So the only thing I know for sure is like the most recent inhabitants. Those are pretty well documented. It was home to the McCormick and I can never say this.
McCormick and Schmick.
Thank you. McCormick and Schmicks for 30 years.
So tasty.
I don't know if I'd ever been there, honestly.
Okay.
Maybe like once.
We're going to have like a lady date out of McCormick's because yum.
Is it good?
Yeah.
I'll have to try it. I've been to Jake's, which they own too, apparently.
Oh, yeah. I forget about
been there.
that.
So if it's anything like that, like, yeah, I'm going to like it. So the seafood restaurant began in 1979 and it closed in 2009. It sat there eerily empty, full of its original interior decor for years until 2017.
What?
Yeah. When it had a massive $1 million remodel and became the No Vacancy Lounge. The nightclub closed after only 2 years.
I was going to say, God, I forgot that even existed.
So it was a $1 million remodel and they closed after 2 years and they closed over like disputes for noise complaints. Like, I can't imagine why.
Yeah, that's really close to a lot of like condos and apartments and like, I don't think those neighbors would appreciate that.
A rowdy nightclub. I'm sure Ravens is more tame than like a nightclub would be.
I would think so. Yeah. You don't have as much of that boots and pants and boots and pants.
Exactly. Until like, you know, whenever the nightclubs close.
Oh my gosh.
2 a.m. I don't know. I guess that's some bars close too.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's not like we've been able to go out an awful lot.
When do things close now?
We say that like we were like such live wires. Like, oh yeah. Like, I can't remember the last time I was at a club. Like I missed them or something.
I've never been to a club.
Oh, man.
Okay, we're going to cut this out so no one knows how much of a loser I am.
No, just we'll include that's going to be part of the lady date.
Nightclubs and seafood.
Yeah. Classy.
Okay, so on to the hauntings. We're kind of done with the history lesson now.
Okay.
So
Are you sure? Is there not more history that you wanted to talk about?
Oh, there's a ton more fucking history, Caitlin. I could go on and on and on.
Oh. And
but
then you
I
would
will
just
not.
like forget to talk about the haunts or yeah.
There's a lot of like history on the old town and stuff on what it used to be like, and it was really, really interesting. I'll link everything for everyone because it's a really cool read. But no, we're going to move on to the scary stuff. I do not apologize to you for it.
Fine.
So I actually got in contact with a woman over Instagram, and she wanted to tell me about some of her experiences that she had when she worked at McCormick and Schmick's. Her name is Trisha, and when she called me, she actually had another friend of hers that used to work there on the line too, and her name is Monica.
Hi, Trisha and Monica.
They were very sweet. Thank you so much, Trisha and Monica, for talking to me. It was amazing. So they said it was like a family there, which reminds me of the card. Okay. And they said they still get together and they still have reunions.
Oh, that's so cute.
Even now, right? And the card was all about like family and like reunions and like sense of like.
Did not see this. I didn't see it playing out this way.
I didn't think that the card would like be pulling for that kind of thing, but I have a little theory on it after. I'll get to it later.
Okay. We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
So they were obviously very, very sad about the closing. They said they got called for a meeting one day and they just knew it wasn't going to be good because the owners had been going through like lease negotiations for the property. And they kind of knew that that was happening. So they just didn't have a good feeling about this meeting.
Oh no, that's the worst.
I know, especially when you're like, it's like your family that you're working with, you know, like you have a home somewhere in there.
Yeah. And that's your livelihood too. It's like if that restaurant closes, you got to go find something else to do for work.
Yeah. It's really sad. So they basically laid everyone off in that meeting and they closed. Oh, no. Yeah. So when they closed too, as you remember, it sat there freaking empty for years. So like
so weird.
They raised the rent too high for this place to be able to afford, but then it's just going to sit there not getting any money. So like I really don't understand.
Weird.
Sorry if you own the building and you're listening to this, but I don't agree with you.
Sorry, not sorry. You took McCormick's from us.
I know. Not just from us, from everyone.
I'm mostly worried about it for me, though.
But now it's Ravens.
Selfishly.
Now it's Ravens, so that's a good thing.
Something good eventually came out of it.
Eventually.
Yeah.
So they said the place always had a creepy feel, not malicious, but kind of just like you were never alone. They did say the basement felt very bad, and there was an office downstairs that always felt cold and dreary and dark. And then there's also, this is awful. So there was a little closet they had to change in, and both of them hated this little closet. In fact, Trisha said that she would just change in the bathroom because like she just couldn't be in there in that little room, which is super creepy.
Yuck. No thanks.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't want to change in there either.
Changing in a closet either. That's kind of weird. A little tiny closet?
Yeah.
Rude.
And they said the break room that was downstairs, they think it's like the doctor's lab now, which if you read anything about Raven's Manor, they have like this little story about this evil like scientist who like took people down to his doctor's lab and did experiments on him. It's not a real story, obviously. But
yeah. Okay.
I just don't want anyone to get confused. But that room always had like one cold spot in it that felt really weird. Yeah. Also, they had a piano above the bar. I guess it sat in like a little inlet up above the bar.
Yeah.
And like during closing, one single key would play just randomly.
No.
Which I feel like that's creepier than like, actual playing of a piano.
Yeah, like what are you trying
like,
to say?
Ding.
At least if they play a song, you can pick up like a mood or a vibe
Yeah.
from that. You're just playing one key. You're like, I just want you to know I'm here. I can do this.
Trisha says the manager told her the place was haunted and she was like really excited to hear about it. Kind of like me, right?
Trisha, I don't understand that at all.
I do. I got you, girl. So she says she likes that kind of thing. She's kind of an empath like Caitlin. She can feel things.
Then why does she like it?
I don't know. She's got both of it going on. She likes it. She feels it.
She's just cooler than me.
Maybe we should replace you. No, I'm just totally kidding.
Right?
No.
And we never heard from her again.
She's in a closet. Okay.
Yeah.
She says she's just one of those who like embraces and loves haunted things.
Okay.
So the manager tells her that one of the first nights she was closing in the bar alone, that one of the closing tasks was like putting the bar stools up on the bar, turning the lights off, and going downstairs to do like paperwork. Okay. So she goes downstairs to the office and she hears like a big boom from upstairs. So she goes up.
Thank you.
Yeah, right. So she goes up to see what's going on. And like, it's supposed to be empty. No one's supposed to be up there. So she goes up and all of the bar stools are on the floor. And
that's not where they go.
No. And that's something we've heard before. Like, I think it was the Skagway where all the bar stools just like flew off the bar.
Yeah. Well, why are we doing that?
I know. Come on. Is it
thanks.
Is it like a ghost conference where they're like, hey, you know what we should do?
They're brainstorming what like the creepiest shit they can do would be.
Toss all the bar stools down.
You know what? I think we're onto something with that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So she was scared and she wanted to run away, but she wanted to try and like figure out how this possibly could have happened.
No,
and she
you
never
just
could.
Run away.
Right? Like she never could figure it out, which
I want to run away right now.
Unless there was like a huge earthquake, I don't see why that would happen.
Right.
And that's something that you would feel.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Trisha, like, good for you trying to figure it out. You're like a regular sleuth, but
well, it was the manager. This was the manager's story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then after that, she just like put the bar stools back on the bar and then like pieced the fuck out of there. She was done. But she still came back to work after that. So I don't know if she's like really, really brave or
she must be.
I might have quit after that. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, she's cut of different cloth than I am.
Even though I like ghosty stuff, I don't know. I don't know if I could deal with that.
I don't know if I want it around me all the time.
Yeah.
Even if you like it, like going to work every day, just not really knowing if you're going to have something happen.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you.
Especially if you're like closing alone at night. Like, I'm good.
No.
So Trisha said that she would always smell like a really strong floral, rosy perfume scent. And it would happen most frequently during closing when no other customers were around. And she would also hear like the clacking of heels on the hardwood floor upstairs.
Okay. Question.
Yes.
Can ghosts wear high heels?
If they want to. They can do whatever the fuck they want to.
I'm just like, what? No. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I would lose my shit.
Yeah, just kind of like pacing around upstairs, like clack, 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 clack.
Oh my gosh. No. Nope.
And she said no one who worked there like wore floral perfume that she knew of or like wore high heels because they're on their feet all day.
Yeah,
they're not going to be wearing heels. Yeah.
No.
So that's very odd. And then she felt, maybe for obvious reasons, that this was a female presence.
Or a guy in really weird lift boots, maybe?
I mean, it is Portland, you know?
Yeah. I mean, those could be like combat boots or, all kinds of cool, fancy footwear.
But she just said since she is an empath, she usually has like feelings about things. She just felt like it was a woman. Yeah.
Okay. I get that.
And she also felt that the spirit was kind of stuck in the building. Like it wanted to get out, but it couldn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man, let them go.
I know.
Like, get out.
Leave.
No, they just want to do their thing.
They need help.
Oh.
I guess that's kind of the overall feeling we typically get from spirits is that they're stuck kind of the in between, you know, living and moving on.
I know that's true.
Yeah.
That kind of makes me want like I mean, I don't want it. I want none of it. But no, it kind of makes me want to find a story about a ghost that's like, yeah, I could cross over whenever I want to. I just don't want to.
Yeah, I just like hanging
you know what I
around,
mean?
spooking people.
Yeah, they're like, no, I'm Casper by choice.
That would be me.
Yeah.
I can't wait to haunt people.
Yes.
So Monica said she also felt like the spirit was female, and she would hear the clacking of heels as well. Monica said on her last night closing, after years of hearing this woman pace around upstairs, she wanted to investigate it. And she did.
It's a hell of a time to start investigating.
I know, right? And she actually heard it on her last night. So she went up there to see like if she could nail down the sound, if she could figure out where it was coming from. And she could not figure it out.
I don't like that.
I know. So about 3 to 4 years after the place closed, Monica had a dream about the building. And she said in the dream, she saw a woman looking out the front window of the building. And she just knew it had to be this woman that they had heard pacing around.
Oh, gosh.
And in the dream, it felt like this woman was trapped and she was trying to get out of the building, but she just didn't know how.
Oh, honey.
I know. Isn't that so sad? Part of me feels like this card is relating to like maybe this woman felt like they were her family too and like missed them when they were gone, you know?
Oh, maybe.
Because they were there
That
for
kinda
30
makes sense.
years. And if all these women felt like this was like a family place, they all loved each other, maybe she kind of felt that too.
Yeah. Well, there's probably been people like of all ages, like men and women, you know, service industry tends to be one where there's like teenagers and stuff too. So it's like they really probably did feel like there was a little bit of like family, you know? It's like if there's teenagers working there, they look at that person as like, oh, just like my daughter.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know. And that's the feeling I got from the card was like,
oh,
that was this woman
ghosties.
kind of saying like, hey, you guys felt like my family too. And so I'm wondering if she's still there, like if the Ravens employees now are going to become her family or if she can, you know, manage to move on. That would be great as well. But
She's like, I don't know you guys.
I know. We need to get to know each other first.
Yeah. We'll see how this goes.
Okay. So if you remember, we're here to talk about Raven's Manor.
Yes.
So I will get to the actual stories about Ravens as it is today.
Okay. Fair enough.
So I did reach out to Ravens. I contacted them through email, asked them, you know, if they would like to share any of their like stories of hauntings, like from the staff and everything. And they said that they would love to, but we'd have to get back in contact with them in January because they're obviously like super slammed right now.
They are swamped.
They are. Halloween's coming up. They just opened not too long ago. So they're really, really busy. And it sounded like they wanted to do a little bit more in-depth things. They didn't want to just email a couple quick stories for us to read. So we're going to have to do like a part 2 or like an update for you guys whenever we get those
Yay.
Raven stories. So that'll be really
All right.
exciting.
Woo, woo, woo.
The only other activity I have heard of from the Ravens employees is that they've experienced some unexplained noises while closing for the night, which is interesting because that's what we've heard from the McCormick and Schmick's employees.
Consistent.
Yeah, I'm wondering like what kind of noises are they? The footsteps and like the piano? I'm so curious. I can't wait to find out. They also said that the motion sensor cameras detect activity during the night when there's like absolutely no one in the building.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's definitely something there. Like that stuff doesn't just go off for, you know, no reason.
He doesn't.
Yeah. There's just one more thing I am super excited to tell Caitlin.
Oh, God.
Her face right now.
I wish
oh my
you could
God.
see how she's looking at me.
Do I look insane? I got the crazy eyes on, don't I?
It's a little bit of a Harley Quinn vibe.
Let me calm it down. Calm it down. Okay. So I didn't tell her this unless she saw any of the emails. She
No.
didn't see any of the emails? Okay.
Oh, God.
So I emailed Unsettling Toys, which is where Raven's Manor got their doll.
Oh, The dolls.
They got do you remember the Instagram post of the doll?
Yes.
The doll's name is Bellora.
Bellora is a pretty name.
I know, Bellora. So Bellora is not just any doll. She is a ballerina doll in a glass case. And I'm going to show Caitlin the video that our very good friend Frederick sent us when he was doing his documentary at Raven's Manor.
Okay.
You guys will hear from him later on in this episode.
Thanks, Frederick.
I know. Thank you so much for this video. It's really cool. Okay.
He gets a legit thank you from you and from me.
So Bellora,
What?
she's in a glass case and her head is just kind of dangling down.
Oh my god.
She's just dangling.
Shit.
And it's a doll that they got from Unsettling Toys. Unsettling Toys rehomes dolls that people give to them that they just like feel uncomfortable around. They may be haunted or possessed or cursed or whatever. So, yeah.
What? How is this an organization that exists? I mean, okay. So many questions. I'm not prepared for this. Continue.
So basically, you give them their dolls. They give them to people who want the creepy things.
Oh my god.
Which Caitlin is not their target audience here.
Yeah. No, I'd be the person donating.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be the person buying. So I emailed Unsettling Toys and asked about this doll because there's no additional information from Ravens. They emailed me back and they have a story.
Oh, geez.
So I will read you the email that they sent me. Bellora came to us from a lady who bought her at a garage sale. One of her kids loved her and named her. Apparently, once they brought Bellora home, the whole family felt uneasy around her. Even one of the dogs would bark at it.
Oh my god. Nope.
When it was in the same room. Also, no matter how many times they placed Belle's head back on, it would tip back off, usually during the night. And they say they would get up in the morning and find it dangling. Needless to say, she came straight to us.
Oh my god.
So they're in their Instagram post. There's this other doll that they post a picture of and a video of it falling down. And she is located I can't remember exactly
like at
where.
the end of the bar. I remember that video.
Yeah, they're in the bar and very close to where Bellora is. So this doll falls down and her head breaks. Her head is off and it's broken.
I don't like it.
What?
I don't like it.
It's so weird. And then that story about how Bellora, her head just likes to be off. It's is she going around attacking these other dolls, making their heads fall off?
Seriously.
Calm down, girl.
Well, based on my experience with dolls, I feel she's hella attacking them.
And then there's some creepy stuff surrounding that doll that Frederick will get into in his interview. It's pretty interesting. So
oh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is so bizarre.
Yeah, I almost peed myself when I read that. And I was her head keeps popping off. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's just perfect.
Okay.
Didn't you love that? I know you love dolls.
Gosh. You know exactly how I feel about dolls. Love is one word.
You're struggling.
Oh my goodness. Okay. We've got another promo roll that we are really excited to share today.
Have you suffered from chronic boredom?
Dude, I'm bored right now.
Then try Friends Talking Nerdy. 8 out of 10 podiatrists agree. A twice-weekly treatment of Friends Talking Nerdy, which you can get every Wednesday and Saturday at noon on your podcast provider of choice, will cure you from athlete's foot, the vapors, and chronic boredom.
Oh, but I'm worried about what I put in my body. What does Friends Talking Nerdy contain?
Friends Talking Nerdy contains only the finest pop culture commentary, well-intentioned rants, and off-color humor, guaranteed to make you smile. Results not typical? Contact a medical professional before starting podcast treatment. In rare cases, listening to the show has resulted in fits of laughter.
Oh my gosh, I'm cured. How can I thank you?
I have a prescription for that.
Friends Talking Nerdy.
You guys, we're back. Fun fact, you guys, we are going to be guesting with these hilarious weirdos on Friends Talking Nerdy podcast.
Dude, I'm so excited. I love nerd stuff.
I love nerd stuff too. And they have a prescription for that.
They do. We need all the prescription meds we can get our hands on. So we also, even though we don't have any personal stories from the Ravens employees, we do have an interview from a paranormal investigator that we got in contact with that did an investigation at Ravens Manor. And he caught some things. So
the things that we saw in the brief clips that he shared with us are just so spooky. They're unreal. We definitely have to reach out to him and see what short clips we can get from him so that we can share that with this episode. But
yeah, he's working on his documentary right now.
it's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty
wild.
crazy. So
Yeah.
we will include some of our interview on this episode. You're going to hear it right after this. And then we did talk to him for a very long time. We will have the entire interview up on our Patreon if you are interested in hearing that, because he did have some interesting additional stories.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
So many good stories. And there are some times where, we definitely went into it talking about Raven's Manor, but we ran the gamut of all of the paranormal stuff.
Yeah, we did.
Having just rewatched a small section of that recently, you can tell I'm like wringing my hands and like shaking my head and playing with my hair. And
She's very uncomfortable in the video. It's very funny to watch.
Yeah. Clearly, Cassie and Frederick are having a great time.
Yeah.
Just with that piece of it alone. And then, they love the content. So that doesn't hurt either.
So if you guys would like to see that, go head over and sign up for our Patreon. You'll get the full extended version of our interview video.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Cue the interview with Frederick. All righty. So I want to hear some ghost hunting stuff.
Ghost hunting stuff.
Yes.
Just in general, just about Raven's Manor.
Yes. So about Raven's Manor. Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
So do you prefer to just be called like a paranormal investigator?
Yeah.
Is that what it's referred to?
Yeah. Paranormal investigator.
Is ghost hunter kind of like
Ghost hunter's fine. People call me crazy guy who just yells about ghosts all the time. Whatever.
No.
We would never. We wouldn't do you dirty like that,
You guys
Patrick.
probably not.
Yeah. So yeah, we're here to talk about Raven's Manor, and so you did an investigation there.
Yeah.
Did you find anything paranormal?
There was some things that were definitely unexplained that we captured on camera and off camera that were okay, how can I put this other than it was one of the most intense paranormal investigations I've done in years.
Wow.
Years.
That's awesome.
There was some stuff that I wish I captured. There's some stuff that I did kind of capture on camera that I wish I would have filmed better, but in the moment I was more like fight to survive and don't panic.
Yeah.
Because of what was happening.
Wow, it was that intense.
Yeah.
Ooh, you're gonna scare Caitlin, and she's not gonna want to go back with me.
Well, yeah, we've decided that probably I'm a little bit more receptive to kind of some of the paranormal and otherworldly energy. I just thought I was a scaredy cat, to be honest.
You just
So that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I can just start at the beginning of how I got into Raven's Manor and how that happened.
Oh
You guys
yeah,
want?
perfect. That would
Okay.
be very interesting.
So Ravens Manor, at Ravens Manor on Instagram, posted a video of one of their dolls being launched off the top of their bar. It tips over by itself. You guys probably saw it.
Yeah, we saw
Yeah.
that one.
So I was like, hey, you guys need a paranormal investigator? You guys need a ghost hunter? And they're like, yeah. I was like, oh, I didn't think that was going to work. Because like 9 times out of 10, because like I've investigated businesses before, and we've investigated plenty of businesses out here. And I'm like, you guys want to like, promote this at all? And they're like, no. Absolutely not. But yeah, so I was like, hey, let's, maybe let's set something up. I'll come to the bar and we'll just kind of check it out. So they said, sure. So we showed up and got some drinks, plenty of drinks.
Nice.
All the drinks.
Yeah. I sat down there's a table. So when you walk in, you guys have been there. There's a long bar to the right-hand side, and off to the left-hand side when you walk in, there's a set of stairs that go down.
Yes, to the bathrooms.
Yeah, the bathrooms. And then when you kind of go farther back along the bar, there's a doll sitting on a couch or a chair out there usually. Yeah. So there's a table right next to that. So I go sit down. I'm sitting there and just kind of like, wow, this place is incredible. Like, look how cool this place is. I love it. Like my aesthetic, finally. Yeah. And I just start getting this presence, like this heavy feeling like we're being watched. And I kept kind of going like, what is that? And my girlfriend starts picking up on it. She's like, something there? I'm like, there's somebody here. Like they're watching us, but I don't know if they know that I know they're standing there.
Yeah, the moment they're not like, here, but they're here.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was like, what are you doing? So we got a few drinks, and one of the owners comes over. He goes, all right, you guys want a tour? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And they took us down to took us all over the place, talked about some of the hauntings. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the building was built in 1890, right?
Okay.
So you would think that a building built in 1890 would have a long historic history, of being a hardware store or, a pharmacist or whatever. This building doesn't have that.
Oh.
At all.
Yeah.
I've talked to the Multnomah County Research. On the libraries. There's nothing.
I was having a really hard time finding history on it.
The only thing we know for sure is that it was called 73rd First Street. It's now 235, 7th or something like that. That's it.
Weird.
Wow.
And I was like, man, that's really bizarre. But what a lot of people don't know about Ravens Manor, it's directly above the Shanghai tunnels.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
so
cool.
If you guys go down to the stairs and there's the bathrooms, you look off to the right, there's a little morgue area, right? It's kind of like it's called their elixir experience.
Yes. I didn't get
in that room is an eastern tunnel that was part of the Shanghai tunnels.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Your face is just like,
man,
it's fine. You want to get listen? That's
fine.
not the worst part. That's not the worst part.
Okay.
On the western side, there's an old abandoned elevator, and there's the western part of the Shanghai tunnels. And there's an actual room you can walk in. They don't know what it was used for. But when I walked into it, I didn't really feel anything in the morgue. It just has a weird vibe. Walked into the western tunnel, and I'm like, I want to climb in that room. And he's like, oh, go ahead. So I climb in the room, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, wow, this is cool. It's all historic, And then all of a sudden, I just locked up, and it was I felt like I was standing in a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't move.
Yeah.
I was shoulder to shoulder.
The jumping into that room, not an instinct that I would have ever had, but I mean, kudos to you.
That would be me. You'd be like, no thanks.
It's just so fun.
That is cool. I wonder, so I talked to 2 girls that had worked at the McCormick's before, and they said that they had a changing closet that they would have to use. And I'm wondering if that little room was the changing closet that they used, because they said they hated that room. They didn't want to stand in there.
Yeah.
They just did not want to be in there at all.
I think I know what room that is.
Oh, was it not the one that you were in?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's something else that
because they said it was
attacked.
A little closet that they had to change in.
Oh, dude, okay.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. I want to know now.
So
yes, I too am excited and not at all scared.
It's fine.
She's just gonna leave.
Yeah. We're at my house, but
Just in the background, like, you guys have a good interview.
Yeah.
Hope you have fun.
Bye.
Like, all right, bye. See you later. So yeah, we get some base readings. We get some high EMF spikes here and there. There's nothing really out of the ordinary. I'm a firm believer in debunking before calling it supernatural.
sure.
I've investigated homes for years and years and years. I've lived in haunted places. I live in a haunted place now. It's
Whoa.
just, you got to know when to, be like, okay, that's weird. And then, oh, that was just probably whatever.
Yeah, explainable.
There was a lot of unexplainable in Raven's Manor.
So you don't think that
Ugh.
WD-40 is gonna fix that situation
I
over
mean,
there?
I'm gonna get a shotgun with rock salt and just start just blasting around in the dark out here like supernatural.
Yes.
Sammy, and just bam, just
Oh my gosh.
we have a psychic or a clairvoyant that comes with us, and she was interacting with one of these spirits, and I said something along the lines of like, I'll punch a ghost. I don't even care. Like just as a joke,
Why?
Full, like
Why would
Zach
as a
Bagans
joke,
style.
as a joke,
Why would
you know,
say that?
it was a whole series of jokes, and because she said that it was making them laugh, and so I was like, I'll punch a ghost, and then I was like,
okay.
I'll punch a ghost. I don't even care. I'll fight you right now. And then I started just flailing, and she's like, they think it's really funny. I'm like, oh, that's good. And then everything after that was different.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Hey, they're just living just on a different plane or
Yeah.
whatever with whatever's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have follow-up questions.
Okay.
I meant, different plane or, like follow-up. Like, where are
That's
they?
a whole nother
Yeah,
podcast.
that's
Where
dude.
are
I
they
can go
broadcasting from?
yeah, from beyond the grave. It's like, oh shit.
Ooh, that was creepy.
Oh,
I have a whole soundboard, man. I can go off.
perfect. Yeah, because we, as you know, like to have a creepy ass day.
Yes,
so.
we do.
Creepy ass day.
That was perfect. That was good.
I'm dying.
We'll have to do that now at the end instead of our normal voices.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
But yeah, so we go in and we set up right after we actually come in right before they closed, got us some dinner, and just kind of got started feeling things out. And it was hard to pick up on anything. My clairvoyant like words was
Mouth
just,
words are hard.
They're
it's the
hard.
podcast
We say it all
curse.
the time.
Podcasting curse.
Yeah. Mouth
I
words
can
are hard.
I don't get it. She didn't really get anything at first, and I was like, okay, maybe it's just because there's so many people here, And once everybody left, it was just the staff and the owners, and I go, okay, we're gonna set up our nerve center, which is just a giant flat screen TV connected to DVR cameras, and we set them up all over the place.
Nice.
And we set one upstairs in the upstairs dining area. We set one near this creepy little back corner thing that they have. You guys probably saw it. There's like a little smaller bar area. I'm going to set it up near there. Then we had one in the eastern tunnel and one in the western tunnel areas. And on the way back around, it's kind of funny. Our clairvoyant son came out with us because he's also sensitive, and his name is Raven.
Oh my
It's just kinda
gosh.
fun.
That is cool.
It's pretty cool. Everybody was like, "Oh, Raven, that's sick." Like, that's awesome. And
This
I was
is
like,
your
"Hey,
mana.
yeah." It was just literally all night, like, "This is your manna, good sir." And he's like, "Oh, okay."
I love
That's
it.
awesome.
We went down past the elevator shaft. I didn't even know it was there. And we walk into this room. It has like the old boiler, and it has like this weird storage room. And I was like, because we were just picking out spots for later in the night. And we walk in and we're talking, and then all of a sudden it was just like dead silent. And we look at each other and we go, we need to get out of here. Like, we don't need to be in this room right now. And it was just that subconscious tickle in the back of your mind, like, something's here
It's
and
your
I don't
wizard
see it.
brain.
Yeah. You
It's
get that. I don't get that. I'm like, let's keep going.
I have had so many investigators on my team just like you who just are like, yeah, I'll just send it. I'll just go in there. No fear. So we set up all our X cameras. I plug them all in, and I do my infamous like opening. They go, okay, I think we're ready to get started. Address the staff. So I get up and I'm like, hello, Ravens Manor. I'm Fred Stewart. I'm with Doomsday Paranormal Research. We're filming a thing called Hunting the Haunted, and we're here to find your ghosts. And they're like, all right, let's go. But he's all hyped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before I get into that, I must state, did you guys look at the bar itself? Look at it.
So she didn't actually go. I've
didn't
only
go.
been,
Okay.
but it was during normal time. So I didn't get to really explore the place.
Okay.
I looked towards the bar. I didn't examine it
Okay.
But yeah.
If next time you guys go, on the top shelf, there's a little ballerina doll in a glass case.
Ooh, okay.
Her name is Ballora, and I think that's one of the big causes of some of their spirits.
Wow.
Of course it would be a fucking doll.
Of course it's a doll. She hates
It's always a doll. It's always a doll. Dolls are terrifying. For example, there's the haunted doll that sits on the couches out there. First time I went in, I was like, it's got a negative space around it. I don't want to touch it. Second time I went in, I was like, I'll just pick this up. Just
you touched it.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah,
goodness.
there's some beings in Raven's Manor. It's like what I said when we shut all the lights off and we were getting ready to film, and I go, when the sun goes down, the ghouls come out, as above, so below. And then we went down to the basement, and then it was all hell broke loose.
No.
Okay, I want to hear about this hell that broke loose.
No, thank you, please.
It's fine. So we investigated for a few hours. We weren't getting anything. Nobody was really taking it seriously for a little bit. It was more just in the dark, having fun, And yeah, it was just, at first it was kind of like this, it's kind of not what I thought it was going to be. And, I'm kind of bummed out. And so I went upstairs to our nerve center, and I sent my girlfriend down with a bunch of people, and I'm sitting at the nerve center, and we start seeing orbs and weird things on our cameras.
Ooh.
And orbs are kind of one of those things where I'm like, it's kind of strange. It's a dusty area, so it could be, couldn't be. But then in the same video, you were seeing dust fall normally, and then you see this ball of light come out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So it's strange.
It's nice when you have something to compare it to.
Yeah. And so we're up top, and I don't have a handheld camera running. I'm just sitting there rating things out, and the owner goes and gets Ballora off the top shelf. Basically, from here on out is where everything starts to go downhill.
Oh shit!
So she likes her shelf.
Well, it's not so much the shelf; it's what she's in. She's trapped in the glass case.
Okay.
So you know what a Divic box is?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I just saw it.
What are you not supposed to do with a Divic box?
Open it.
Exactly.
She's in a glass case of emotion.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Milk was a bad choice.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Fuck you, San Diego. Anyway.
He goes and gets her off the top shelf, and I go, hold on, let me get a camera, and so I can film you opening it just in case anything happens or whatever. And I didn't even have time to get the camera. And when you guys walk in and you walk past near there's the stairs up top, there's a little table, and on that table is a music box. Well, he gets it about a quarter of an inch off its base, and the music box starts playing.
Oh.
Nope.
Yep.
So imagine my surprise when we're in the dark and you start hearing dun, dun, dun,
No.
dun,
Oh
dun,
my god, that's creepy.
No.
and I just start to slowly turn,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, is this really happening? So I shine my flashlight over, and we watch it as it just begins to just continue to spin and play. And I'm like, okay. And then it stops. And then all of a sudden, my girlfriend starts calling on the radio, and she's like, we just had one of the, because they have big freezers in the basement, we just had one of the freezer doors slam.
Nuh-uh.
And I was like, did you get it on video? And we got the sound on video. We were right next door. And so I went and reviewed it, and we have the sound for sure. Because you hear it go,
That's cool.
and then everybody goes, who just closed that? Or who opened that? And then they go in there was nobody in there.
Oh,
Well,
shit.
of course not, because people don't hang out in freezers.
I mean, anybody who's worked in the service industry knows you go in the freezer to go scream at the top of your lungs.
You go cry. You go,
Yeah.
I'm not saying I haven't done it. I'm just saying that, you gotta have a
Man, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
You're talking before about people. There's this changing room, right?
Yeah.
The previous bar. I think I know what room it is.
Ooh.
So there's a set of stairs that lead up to the top. If you go up and around the corner to the left instead of going up the stairs, there's a little room that matches exactly what you said.
Okay.
And we didn't know. Nobody knows what it is or what it was used for previously.
Sure.
And there's a guy named Charlie who was like his friends of the owner, and he's really sensitive. And he's like, Fred, come over here and check this out. Okay. So I run over and he goes, go in there. And I was in there earlier before we started filming. And I was like, feels kind of strange in here, but I might just be psyching myself up or whatever.
Yeah.
And I go in and it was like being electrified. Like whole body was static. And I was like, oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. And I'm like, whoa, that's crazy amount of energy. And so I run upstairs and they're doing like a spirit box session. And I run upstairs and I go, let me get the spirit box. And then I run back downstairs and I go back in there and I'm trying to make contact. And then the energy keeps building more and more and more and more. It felt like there was thousands of ants crawling all over me.
Oh my God, no.
And I panicked. And
I have
said,
to go.
And I'm like, dude, I got to take this sweatshirt off. And so I take my sweatshirt off. I'm like, dude, ugh. And I look up and I just see just the neck and the shoulders down of a person just for the brief second, just that quick. And they were wearing these like brown and like old gray clothes and they're super raggy. And they were probably like 4 or 5 feet away from me. And I went like, what? And then it was gone. And I was like, okay, like it's starting to pick up. And so I go, I'm going to go back in that room. And I turn around and I start to walk back towards the room. And I feel the back of my hat lift up and someone yank on my hair.
Oh,
hard.
Jeez. That's not
Like,
nice.
I got some hair. Like
Rude. That's not okay.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
it was
not
like
nice.
yank. And I was like, and I got pissed. Like I was reacting like
That's
anybody
the
else would.
appropriate reaction.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to react. Someone just ripped on your hair, and so I'm like, hey, like, what the fuck? I'm getting all mad,
Right?
and I walk
Getting
back
mad
in.
at no one.
Yeah, and so I walk back in this room, and I'm getting electrified again, and it starts getting really, really, really bad, and it got so bad to the point where me and Charlie at the exact same time started gagging, and he's outside the room. And like we're like, I'm on the brink of vomit, and I'm like legit about to puke, and I'm like, I need to go outside, And before I could even make that thought of like, hey, idiot, you need to back off for a second because something's bad's about to happen. I didn't even get that. It was like someone like unplugged the light, man. All my energy was gone. And I started to collapse, and I was like, aim for the couch, aim for the couch, aim for the couch. So I aim for the couch, dump my camera, boom. And I'm just like, oh my God, dude. And I got it on video. I just go, oh my God, dude. Oh my God. And I'm just trying to like stay awake. And our psychic, I didn't even hear our psychic until after, but she was talking to the spirit that was in there. She goes, he's not here to hurt you. He's not here to hurt you. Why would you do that? He's not here to hurt you.
Oh my
And then I just
gosh.
it was the biggest feeling of sadness I ever felt in my entire life. Like, I mean, like the end of Marley and Me times 100,
Oh.
Tears.
You felt that.
Oh.
Tears. I mean, I was weeping and I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop crying. And my girlfriend's like, are you okay? And everybody's like, you okay? I'm like, you gotta get me outside. You gotta get me outside. You gotta get me outside. And I'm just crying. And there's a little back room behind the bar. And I went back in there and I just sat in the corner and I cried for like 5 minutes. Just,
wow.
I mean, weeped. And I couldn't stop. And our psychic our clairvoyant comes out and she says she's really sorry. And she says that she didn't know that you're here to help because she's afraid of men and she always attacks men.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh, honey.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I go, tell her that it's okay and that we're not here to hurt her. We're here to help her, And she's like, okay, I did, I will. And she goes back in and I was just drained of energy.
Okay. I just have to
Wow.
say, does anybody think that it's a little bit weird that there's like nothing in terms of history of this building as far as you can dig. And then here's this woman who appears super traumatized.
Yeah.
Who's
It's weird. I might have some info.
What was this building?
I don't know.
Well, I have some hearsay, he said, she said.
Yeah.
Things that the owners told me about it that it was a brothel way back in the day.
That's what I've
Which
heard
is why
too.
you probably wouldn't see it in newspapers.
Yeah.
Right? And you wouldn't see anything else about it. They said that a woman had taken her own life up top in the upper area of the bar. But when our medium was talking to this woman that was in the closet or whatever this thing is, like service station, she said that she like worked there, or she was like a manager or something like that. Like she was in charge, and she was just like terrified of men.
Wow.
I mean, if you're a madam, are you not? Probably.
I mean, you've seen some shit.
Yeah.
Been through
No,
some shit.
that's honestly like immediately I was like, wait, she's saying that she's afraid of men. It's a woman that's in this building and she's like doing these things. Okay.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about this. I just get like I don't pretend to be like some sort of, medium, but you
get feelings.
Yeah.
You
absolutely.
get feelings.
And when it happens, I'm like, it's like that quick where I'm like, this was a brothel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then he says brothel, and I'm like, God damn.
Yep.
I don't want to be right.
Yeah, like I said, I can't confirm it because there's no historical evidence other than what some guy told the owner and was like, this used to be a brothel.
Right. But if it was a brothel, I mean, that would be probably a building and probably a specific unit of the building that wouldn't have a lot of records.
Yeah.
I would think during that era.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like to tell the story of Raven's Manor as a building, you have to tell the story of the Shanghai tunnels.
And
all
the land that it's on. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's connected to the tunnels. Like Hobos and like the Shanghai Tunnels bar is like 4 blocks north. Like it's right there.
Wow.
The Raven's Manor, I mean, you probably saw it. Raven's Manor is like right next to the river. It's right there. You can basically walk outside and see it.
I looked at the map. That was about as close as I felt comfortable getting.
So I have some information for you guys.
Oh.
So this is crazy.
Yep. So he has the right idea.
I told you that I talked to 2 girls that used to work at the McCormick's, and one of their stories, their experiences was hearing a woman walking upstairs in high heels. They would hear like the click of her heels walking upstairs. They would frequently hear that. They would smell like really strong, like rose perfume. And then after, one of the girls said that she had a dream that there was a woman in the window. She was like looking at the building. There was a woman in the window. She was like trapped inside and couldn't get out. And she just said that she knew that that was the woman that had been in the building that they'd been hearing walk around and smelling her perfume. And they both just said that they had this feeling like she was trapped there. She didn't want to be there. So it's very interesting.
Hey, Cassie, I have a quick question for you. Do you by chance have goosebumps?
I do. We're chill. We got the chills over here. This is crazy.
I run hot. So I'm unfamiliar with the phenomenon that is goosebumps.
I'm literally sweating. Like my pits are sweaty, and then we have goosebumps.
Yeah, so we started getting I got like attacked basically by this entity, and psych myself back up, and I go, all right, let's get back to it. It's almost a bewitching hour. It's almost 3 a.m. And a couple of people who were taking it more seriously had gone upstairs and were trying to contact this spirit through the spirit box, and just trying to get something to happen. And they got gifted a coffin, and so it's upstairs right now.
They said slightly used.
I need to know more about that. Do we have more information about the slightly used aspect?
I don't know about that, but you want to know something that's bad about that?
Okay.
What?
I climbed inside of it.
Oh,
when I closed the lid. Yeah, so we go upstairs, and I go, okay, here's the spirit box. put the EMF detectors outside. I'm gonna put a radio on top. I'm gonna have my radio inside. No, I had the spirit box. That's right. I had the spirit box. I go, I'm gonna climb in, and we're gonna do this EVP style. But whatever comes through the spirit box, I'm gonna say out loud through the radio. So I can't hear anything because it's noise canceling, and I'm in a coffin. And
Okay, bye.
they put me in there, and then they put a candle on top. They hooked hands and began to do a seance
Holy shit.
while I'm in the coffin. We got on a video.
That's amazing.
While I'm in the coffin. And we had gotten the word demon a couple of times, like, who's here? Demon. Who's here? Demon. Things like that over and over again.
I don't like that.
Yeah, through the spirit box. And
I don't care for that either.
It's fine. Our medium, I will say, she said that she saw a couple demons when we were investigating, but that they weren't interacting with anybody, and they were more so like they would be standing in a hallway, and everybody would be like walking past, and they would kind of like bunch up on the wall, and like let them pass, and then be like,
That's
"What are
not
you
very
doing?" Like,
demony.
yeah, they're minding their own business.
They're
It
just
was-
chilling, being demons.
I mean, if that's your MO, are you even a demon?
She's like, I just work
Bro,
in
do you
accounting,
even lift?
like.
They're on vacation, all right? Leave them alone. They're trying to
On
relax.
vacation. Got his button up on. And he's like, dude, the vibes are off in here, dude. It's like,
Yeah.
it's you. You're literally a demon. Like, dude, why would you say that?
They've been
Why would you
really
say that?
channeling like a dirty heads vibe.
I can't help who I am, okay?
You're a demon. Like, all right. Dude. But I climbed inside, coffin, close it, seance begins. And it's right before 3 a.m.
Mm-mm.
It was just perfect timing. In retrospect, probably a bad idea. Will I do it again? Yes. It was really fun, but I was like, okay, demon came through for this, demon came through that, or whatever. This came through, and I hear at one point there was like some like random static noises, sounds, whatever, come through the spirit box, and then I hear this little girl go, "Hi,"
No.
and come
Bye.
through. And so
Okay.
I go, hey, we just had a little girl's voice laugh and come through and say hi. And then I hear like people like freaking out. So I'm like, I peek the coffin and I open them like, we good? And they're like, we asked who was in charge. And so I was like, okay, I can close that up again. Don't like that. So I think that child that we heard through the spirit box wasn't a child. I think it was something else disguising
No.
itself. Creepy demonic entity that's trying to lure people in.
That's creepy.
We, after I got out of the coffin, another person went in and we got some stuff. It was kind of slow. And then I set up a chair by itself and set up an EMF detector, electromagnetic field detector on the chair, and it started going off. And I said, okay. And I was like, if you're here, can you go off, make it go off twice? So it was like, boom, boom. Okay, so you're here. And I was like, trying to make conversation, because I take ghost hunting approach differently than a lot of people like you see on TV. I'm not like the dude bro Zach Bagans where I'm like,
Yeah.
these ghosts will find them. me and my like tap out t-shirt, like, what's up, dude? Like, no, I'm like, I'll talk to a spirit the same way I would talk to anybody else.
Like a person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they
was-
were people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it feels more natural than being like, are you with us? Are you here? Like, I'll do that sometimes, but most of the time, if I'm making positive contact with something, I go like, are you feeling okay? Do you need anything? Do you need to relay any messages? What do you need from us? Is there anything we can help you with? Things like that. But I go, would you like some alcohol or anything? And it flashes.
Oh.
EMF detector goes off. I go, do you want some whiskey? And it goes off. And so then I set up the spirit box, and one of the people runs down the stairs, pours a shot of whiskey, runs back up, and I'm like, what is this? And she's like, I don't know, it's some like Irish whiskey. I'm like, okay. So I set it up, and I'm like, is that what you wanted? And this voice comes through the spirit box and goes, no. And we're like, do you not like Irish whiskey? Like, that whiskey's awesome. Do you want like bourbon? Like, what do you want? And then a female voice comes through and says, vermouth.
Nuh-uh, they
sweet vermouth.
answered you.
Yeah.
That is
So,
crazy.
Another voice, because we were getting contacted by a spirit name. I think it was Jacob or Joshua. It's in my recordings. It's fine. But we go, oh, do you want vermouth? Is that what you want? And then like it flashed and we're like, okay. And we did this for a while. And we went down and I went down to the nerve center and was watching cameras and watching orbs and stuff fly all over the place. And I mean, it was like that all night. And because people were really noisy throughout the night because there's a lot of people. There's entire staff. So, I mean, there's people running around doing stuff, having conversations. So it was like, we're not going to get a lot of EVPs. So last night, I'm editing, as I have been for the past couple nights, weeks. And I'm like, okay, like I finally got what I think I'm going to include. Now I just need to cut everything together. And I'm watching this video. We're up in the bar and everybody's talking. And then you just hear this loud female scream. Ah!
Oh my God.
And no one misses a beat. No one reacts to it. No one says anything. And so my girlfriend's sitting behind me, like by my little backdrop here, but I usually have that down. I'm like, listen to this, because you were upstairs. And she's like, that didn't happen. Like, we didn't hear any of that.
That's
so it's
crazy.
Like, what is happening in Raven's Manor?
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's
she's so scared right now.
It's fine. Listen, it's
fine.
That's the whole thing about Raven's Manor is they are a haunted theme bar, but they're actually haunted.
But it's more than just a theme. It's a lifestyle, man.
Yeah, they do a really good job of making you feel creeped out when you walk in, like not in a bad way, just in like it's like spooky haunted house way.
Yeah. And
then when the lights turn out and you're in the dark and you're like, this is real life. This is we're really here right now, huh?
I'm so jealous. Like, I want to go after hours. That sounds so amazing.
Yeah, you just guys wait till you guys see when I'm done editing this one.
Dude,
it's
I'm
gonna be a
so
whole
excited.
Thing.
I'm so excited to see
Experience the haunting of Raven's Manor. Yeah. It's like, ooh, spooky. It's gonna be like an hour-long special. It's gonna be crazy.
Ooh. Where's it gonna be on? YouTube?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I might do like a live showing on Twitch or something, but
yes, I love that.
All right. Nice talking to y'all.
Yeah,
hit me if you guys have any more questions or need someone to talk to about spooky shit or serial killers or whatever.
Always.
We have so many follow-up questions. Don't you worry. We'll be in touch.
Perfect.
All right.
All right. See y'all later.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thanks so much. Bye.
Thank you.
All right. We hope you liked that interview. It was really fun for us to do.
Well, I mean, for
one of us.
No, I always enjoy it. It definitely gets me in that weird, my spidey senses.
Yeah. They tingling all over.
All right, you guys. It's been fun. It's been real.
It's been scary.
Yeah, definitely. We will see you later, or we will see you another time. Totes my goats, Jobin.
I fucking love that movie.
It's really the best. All right. Are we ready to say the real thing?
We are.
Okay.
Have a creepy ass day. See you next Tuesday.
So for all of you that are listening, if you have any true crime or paranormal stories that you want us to share, maybe with the whole Pacific Northwest.
Yes, we would love to read them on the pod.
Yes, we will read them out loud.
Not just in our heads.
Yes. They don't have to be from the Pacific Northwest if you would like to share. Email us at pnwhauntsandhomicides@gmail.com. It's all spelled out, no special characters. Super duper easy peasy.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Same thing as the email at pnwhauntsandhomicides, all spelled out, no special characters. Please also rate and review us on whatever platform you're listening to, and check out our stories on social media because our meme game is hot.
Agreed.
And if you agree, like Caitlin, you can also find us on Patreon and support the show.
Bitchin'.
has been a
Send
day
it.
of pizza. We were just talking about people throwing pizza into portals to different dimensions.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's like some Stargate like fantasy? What the hell?
That's what I
know.
said.
We were just talking about portals, and some guy was like, I need to throw pizza in there to the beings on the other end in case they don't have pizza, because that's important.
And here's the thing. To me, it's like, isn't it a little presumptuous to think that we're the only like advanced and or civilized society that has
Yeah.
pizza?
I
Come
Yeah,
on.
that's fair.
Yeah, I feel like that's the first problem.
They
I
probably
with
have
that.
something
Mhm.
better. They're like, what is this trash? We don't
Yeah.
need
Oh,
it.
you have pizza. We have this reptilian pizza grease.
And you're like, oh,
Exactly.
that sounds